Prominent Republicans continue to question Donald Trump's sanity and strategy, and today's story that caught my eye, that I'll break down for you in just a minute, is based on the headline, Fox News' Karl Rove and Neil Cavuto torch distracted Trump for wasting time on conspiracy theories. So easy to do better. During Trump's first run, he was a curiosity, but once he took control of the race and eventually the White House, Republicans lined up behind him like it was a Krispy Kreme grand opening and the chocolate ice glazed donuts were free. And when he ran a second time, almost no one spoke out against him. They pretended his mind was sane and his words were salient. They not only insisted that the emperor had clothes, but they said the clothes were beautiful, tremendous, and
better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
But in this, his third run, he is not getting the same free pass, and it tickles the heart of liberals to see Republicans questioning the rambling mess that his campaign has become. Have a listen to the often intellectually honest Neil Cavuto as he tees up the important question for Republican strategist Karl Rove.
You get your take, and you're a far more astute follower of this than I'll ever be. But I always wonder in the case of Donald Trump, he has a good economic argument to weigh here about the tax cuts and regulations from when he was in power. But he spends an inordinate amount of time talking about how the Democrats look ready to steal another election, saying that they cheat. He spends even more time focusing on a debate he clearly lost, saying that it was 3 against 1, it wasn't fair. I don't think there's any harm being done to say you didn't do well in that debate, you didn't do nearly as well as when you took on Joe Biden. You were affected in that one, you were not in this one, but he just gets caught up in that. Now, I can almost hear what he'll say about that and what his followers will say about that, but I just find that, if you're going to focus on things like the economy, focus on the economy, and then maybe today focus on this latest development in Israel, whatever, but he gets distracted and all over the map.
I will have the answer that displays Rove's frustration and criticism of Trump in just a minute, but first, let's have a look at how the distracted Donald spent his woefully unfocused weekend. First, he was spotted hanging out with Kid Rock and tossing deep-fried chicken parts to football fans in Alabama. Next, he was at a loss for words at a rally and did what he sometimes does. Used the playground classic, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, says Republicans have nothing of value to say and must resort to name-calling.
Only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country.
I think whenever he says things like that, he's talking about himself, but trying to project it onto others.
And finally, Trump suggested that police be given a 1-hour holiday of brutality to clean up America.
Is there anybody in this room that think that crime has gone down? It's gone through the roof, and largely because of migrant crime. 1 rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
Now, we can't condone police violence, but we do condone Republican on Republican brutality in the form of harsh criticism. So watch as Karl Rove packs a punch as he jabs Trump's lack of focus and strategy.
Neil, I'm surprised that you left out one of the critical issues of this campaign, which is Fluffy and Fido are being eaten in Springfield, Ohio, which we have spent an inordinate amount of time on. Right. I couldn't agree with you more. And look, in a presidential campaign, there are 3 important strengths, resources that you have: money, issues, and time. And if you chew up time, you cannot create more time. You can always raise more money, you can always raise additional issues, but you can't create more time. And he has chewed up valuable time talking about inconsequential things. And what is the result of that? Take a look at this. This is out of the latest Fox poll. His lead on who is better to handle the issue of immigration is plus 15, and on the economy, plus 8. But the last Fox poll, he was at 20% on immigration. He's lost 5 points. He was 15 on the economy. It's now down 7 points to a lead of only 8. So if you don't stay focused on the big issues and you don't lay out a forward-looking agenda that people can get their hands around, then you're going to diminish the leads that you might have because of what you did 4 years ago. And that's exactly what's happening. And we've got 39 days left. And if he's not more disciplined, he could well lose this, even though he started it on July 21st when Biden pulled out, in a very strong place.
No, Donald Trump is not disciplined, and is there any chance the 78-year-old oracle of unfocused mayhem will find that discipline in the weeks to come? Of course not, and I think historians will debate about this moment in time. Did Kamala Harris wage what Trump might describe as a perfect comeback, a beautiful thing to see, or was he a campaign disaster like the world has never seen before? I think it's a little bit of both, and I enjoy seeing her surge just as much as I enjoy seeing him lose the faith and enthusiastic backing of conservative media and political insiders. It's not enough to beat Donald Trump. He needs to be deflated and the base discouraged from giving rise to the next figure who captures their fancy with focused populist and racist themes.
And if you lose, they're going to say Trump suffered the greatest defeat in the history of the world. This was the greatest. You can't let that happen to me.